please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today what I thought we'd do is dive into and check in on the life of Tess Holliday, a now best-selling book author, moment lady type person deal. I think she might be a female, I'm not entirely sure these days. When you get to a certain size, androgynous and you become synonymous. She qualifies. Now with the likes of Tess, there is a level of irrelevancy that comes with being on social media more than being in the mainstream. Tess likes to attribute that to being excluded because of her size. I think it's more because people don't want to work with people who are openly, blatantly toxic, and also optics are key. What can Tess offer the space that she tries to inhabit? Very little. Also, the message of body positivity and fat acceptance is waning, which is a good thing, because we shouldn't be promoting fat acceptance in the way that it's been promoted by the likes of Tess Holliday. I've stood firmly against body positivity because how it has been promoted for years, ever since I started on YouTube, has been about accepting super morbid obesity as if it is the norm and okay. With life expectancies going up, I find this to be incorrect. It drags everyone down, and it's always the case when that was certainly more relevant, that people who were of that size wanted to be treated superior. It's why I made a deal about JB Productions, who got arrested recently. It's why I made a deal about many people, in fact, over on Omegon 2 and on Rumble as well, when I made exclusive videos there a couple of years ago now, actually. It's not that I'm trying to single people out for being fat, I'm trying to single people out for promoting bad ideas. And these ideas are quite bad. I want people to live. I don't want people to race themselves to the bottom thinking that somehow that's a great life. It really isn't. So let's see what Tess has been up to.
I think the number one thing I get asked is how I'm so confident. How do I deal with bullies? How do I deal with people being mean to me?
You have a fantastic coping mechanism like we all should have, except yours is a bit more long-term poisonous. It's called a pantry. I throw myself into playing music, playing video games, reading books, painting models, wrestling the dogs because the bulldogs like to roughhouse. You, though, clearly have something else beyond your body positive facade.
And the number one thing that I tell people is what other people think of me is not my reality.
You post on social media for attention. Of course it's your reality. It's just how much of your reality it takes up is what matters. You can claim that you're above it, but you need it to maintain relevancy because without social media you wouldn't be able to promote things like your new book or your OnlyFans. Because yes, she's got one. Of course she does. Money's drying up. It's where they all go.
I put all of that in my book that I have coming out called Take Up Space, y'all, that I co-wrote. And
this book, I believe, is currently a bestseller, which congratulations, by the way, for anyone, although I have heard it is quite easy to become a best-selling author. All you have to do is post it to Amazon, but don't expect a decent split. But at the same time, it is an accomplishment nonetheless, regardless of the message you're trying to push, or whatever it is that's in the book. And I'm not going to judge the book, because it is not my place to, and I don't really want to buy it to find out, or download it illegally somewhere, because that requires effort. There is, however, nothing saying that if we got enough likes, I don't go and get the book, and learn from Senpai about taking up space, y'all.
I am so proud of this book because it is specifically targeted towards teens and tweens to answer these questions and so many more.
Oh, I thought it was here to sell units, because it's all well and good empowering teenagers, and I'm not against that in the slightest, although who it comes from does raise some questions about integrity. I thought the main focus of a book, though, was to sell, you know, with a shiny cover and maybe an author's signature. No, I don't want that.
One of my favorite parts is I have a chapter, bye-bye frenemies, because who needs those?
Everyone does. Everyone needs someone in their life that they can disagree with, because it is surprisingly better for your mental health and also for your intelligence to have someone there that occasionally brings you back into reality. Because if all you ever had in your life were friends that supported everything you said and did, they would not be friends, they would be enablers, especially if you end up becoming a super morbidly obese, body positive, fat acceptance model. Oh, and being one of those tools in a garden used to, weed, cultivate soil, called a hoe.
And I have a little life advice. And it's like when people are saying stuff to you and it feels icky and you just feel like you can't get away from them, you have to just remind yourself what I said. What someone thinks of me is not my reality.
With what she just said there, what someone says is not my reality. To you, the lovely audience, yes, audience participation time, put in the comments what she actually means and what it really is. She thinks that this means your reality is something you live and everyone in it is merely an accessory, basically. The reality of it is, she is very pro removing anyone from your life that does not share your values 100%.
And I'm not even going to see these people in a few years, so why do I care what they think?
Why are you planning that far ahead? Good friends last a lifetime. I know family's the most important thing really, but I think you'll find good friends last a long time, and good friends don't always agree with you. If that's the kind of crap in your book, I will admit part of me is slightly tempted, but I'm still not paying for it. The level of stupidity I've encountered over the years from people who are pro-echo chamber is astonishing. You should never be pro-echo chamber, you should be pro-ensuring that you are comfortable, safe, and making sure that those around you are a good mix of differing opinions, while also simultaneously being able to simply agree and disagree, or agree to disagree. If you can't do something as simple as that, then you end up becoming remarkably fickle.
My mom used to say that to me and it would tick me off. I would be like, but she was right. I don't know them. I don't remember them.
So this video that I've shown you is basically an ad for that particular book she's, hawking. And much like her social media where, it's not real life, everyone, it doesn't affect her really, she needs it to promote her content, and that would include her book. It may be a bestseller, but law of diminishing returns will come into full effect at an expedited rate. People are very quick to react and move on. It's why Netflix gained so much popularity by putting entire seasons of shows on their platform as soon as they did back in the day. And do they still do it now? I don't know. The second video I want to show you is one that was shared on Twitter, and it's been sped up, so I've tried to drag it to where it might sound a little less sped up, just to hear a little bit of, well, the real Tess Holliday, to be honest.
If you loved yourself, you would have taken Ozempic.
Even when I slow it down to where I think it's right, it still sounds slightly off. I do apologise, but if it's sped up, it sounds ridiculous. Certain people of certain sizes, they sound like they're in slow motion when they're talking at a normal speed. When you speed them up too far, they sound like a hamster, choking on all the raisins.
If you loved yourself, you would have taken Ozempic. If you really loved yourself, you would stick around and watch your kids grow up, even though one of them is almost 20 and in college.
So this is her addressing comments about her life choices and where she is. I will admit, I'm impressed she's gotten as far as she has, considering her size. There's a certain level of strength in her genetics at the very least. And many of us have criticised her over the years because she says she does all these things to be healthy, but clearly that's not the case. She just believes this is the body that was given to her by some deity, but by herself really, because that's the only thing she worships. The Ozempic argument that many make is a redundant one. If you love yourself, you don't take a cheat code. You really don't. That's for diabetes, stop stealing it. You are lucky that one of your children has gone to college, of course you are, and I'm very happy for their success and hope they succeed in ways you didn't. So hopefully they don't get to your size, at the very least. And yes, I'm saying that outright because I don't think that's a life anyone should promote.
But you would still stick around. But if you really loved yourself, you would suck a fart from my butt. But if you really loved yourself, you would lose weight. Oh my god, you've doubled in size.
I love that Tess is doing this without having a comment on the screen, because that becomes too cliche for TikTokers. That's what they do. They take a negative comment and they put it on the screen and respond to it. For her, it would actually be easy views and by extension easy money. Well, minimal, but still money nonetheless. Considering the position she's now in, I'm sure she's doing well enough to not have to worry, but at some point, she may regret or rue the day she didn't take full advantage of the opportunities presented. How long till she starts doing kick streams or Twitch streams or other streams? Only for Bafibro failed adult film actor streams. That's the rock bottom streams, by the way.
Since I started following you, I just can't believe that you don't love yourself enough to lose weight to make me feel happy and better in my body.
Hey look bro, if you can't look after yourself, how are you supposed to look after your audience that look up to you? Am I right guys? Because that's all that matters really. I know that Tess is trying to do the sarcastic shtick thing. I fully get it. I think it's quite funny personally. I think it's quite funny because it comes from a position of saltiness. That saltiness comes from the fact that people aren't as often going to her content anymore. So, as I mentioned in the previous comments, driving up that interest with negativity, this is how you do it. Take some generic statements you have received over the years, rehash them, and make a quaint little video to try and make it seem like relevancy and sympathy. She has a lot of simps. I don't know why, but she does.
So I don't have to go to therapy, and I can project all my insecurities and how much I really hate myself, even though I'm not fat anymore, on you. You know, if you really loved yourself, you wouldn't write a book to help children help love themselves.
Based on the chapter, part, segment, bit, paragraph, sentence, bit, doodah, whatchamacallit you read to us in the previous video, I'm not entirely sure that your video is helping children. Book, sorry, is helping children. Because if anything, it promotes rather positive toxicity. I don't agree with toxic positivity. It's why I've criticised glitter and lasers multiple times. You cannot go through life with that kind of attitude. I do believe in helping them and elevating them. I 100% do, by the way. I just don't think that's the right way.
Because people that love themselves don't do that. They don't. They just sit around, staring in a mirror, thinking, wow, you really are something.
I'm starting to understand why this video is sped up. Because you've run out of steam already, haven't you? That's embarrassing.
You know, if you really love yourself, you would just stop eating 50 cheeseburgers a day. But I don't want to stop. I want to eat 50 cheeseburgers a day. You're fat.
Have you ever eaten 50 cheeseburgers before? In one sitting? I managed 4 one. They were double cheeseburgers but plain from McDonald's, and I found that to be excruciating full afterwards. Turns out, even though we have higher food standards, it's still not real food. Quality over quantity these days, guys. Am I right, folks? Again, the reductio ad absurdum with the sarcasm is, while amusing, coming from a position of somebody who doesn't like the criticism, yet in the previous video contradicts this one, doesn't she? It's not your real life, guys. It's not about your life. It's not in your life. It doesn't affect your life. No. Immediately goes online and criticizes or bashes or gets snarky about the fact that they're regularly fat-shamed. You should be, by the way. Just saying. Seems a bit hypocritical, I guess.
You know, if you really love yourself, you wouldn't even breathe the same air I breathe. Because this air is for non-fatties. And you're too fat to breathe this air. And if you really loved yourself, you wouldn't be selling lifetime memberships to the World Obesity Health Epidemic Hotline.
Oh, I can smell the cope. It doesn't smell anywhere near as good as full fat air. Much of which we got to enjoy after the coup entered, which was, by the way, that era of wearing masks. It was just a pain in the arse, okay? I couldn't be bothered. Fresh, full fat air, quite satisfying, I will admit.
Because people really want to lose weight, and you are preventing everyone from the entire world from ever losing weight.
So this is an interesting point, because there's an aspect of this that does carry some truth. You're not preventing everyone, but you have in the past stated that you do not like it when people go online and talk about their weight loss journeys. You've jumped on that as if that then means they're promoting anti-fat movements and rhetoric, whether it be via weight loss journey where they've succeeded in changing their lifestyle, or because of the cheat codes. You get really uppity about it. You're very anti anyone losing weight or being better. Simply, that's what you are, better. So there is some truth to it. It just doesn't apply to the entire world. But some do believe that, for example, the United States is the entire world. It's not, but we let them think that for the time being.
Because you are telling people to be obese. And if you really loved yourself, you would probably be happier. But you're not, because you're fat, disgusting.
That's where the video cuts off. The two contrasting videos serves a great opportunity for us to point out her own inconsistencies. As her views on TikTok are diminishing, and they really are, Tess is losing the social media credibility score that she once had. A vaunted position where she would guarantee, and by extension she could guarantee relevancy, which could then guarantee income to promote other things, like her book or her OnlyFans. As with everything we discuss here, I'd love to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. We will be streaming later over on the Twitch and Rumble and Kick, and here. We're everywhere, honestly. Hope to see you there. If not, have a cracking day, guys, and thank you so much for listening.